good morning, good morning, good morning. Give me a second. You know what I can't stand is when people like Teams message you or like send you an email too early in the morning. Like, girl, go get your coffee. Stop talking to me. It's too early. I haven't even technically started work yet. Anyway, good morning. Good morning. Let's talk about day 4. Day 4 was Friday. Day 4 was Friday. They went to the scene. Can you guys hear me? I'm thinking you can because you're saying good morning. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Cats. Good morning, Melanie's Law, most talkative. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining me. So we went out to the scene. Now tell me something. Do y'all think it was too early? I go back and forth. I go back and forth on whether I think it was too early to go to the scene. I go back and forth because sometimes if somebody's telling me a story about somebody, Australia, oh my gosh, thank you for joining me. Good morning. If somebody's telling me a story about somebody that I don't know, I can't really grasp what's going on, if that makes sense. Like, I can't really put any teeth to it because I don't know who you're talking about. Even though you're saying the name, I'm like, if I can't see the face in my head, I can't really grasp what you're talking about. So on that side of it, I'm like, it's good. It's good for them to go early so they can have this in their head. But then I fall to the side of this was too early because also I feel like if they would have had the full picture of everything, then they could go and say, okay, so the car was right here and then she came out right here and then they walked over. Like, if you have the full picture in your head, you can kind of see the scene when you're there. So I go back and forth. I see a world where going early is good, and I see a world where going late is good. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this early because they don't have any. As of right now, they don't have anything about anything. So I still think it was too early. Okay, I've made my decision. I've talked it out. I've talked it out, and I think it was too early. I think maybe next week, maybe at least after they have some sort of frame of reference from somebody about where John was found, where tail light pieces was found. Maybe not all of it. They don't have to have all the information, but some sort of reference as to where they think she hit him. Yeah, because right now they have nothing, and I don't know how I feel about that. And then who else do we have on Friday? We had the expert that bored everybody to sleep. I mean, I don't even know what he was there for. I'm just going to be honest. I was working and tuned him out. He was making me go to sleep. At work. I don't know what he was talking about. And then who else did they have on Friday? I can't even remember because they had me so asleep after the blood alcohol man that I can't even remember. And you guys know that Carrie Roberts is still. I said that I was going to get Carrie Roberts out of my head, and I can't, y'all. I'm trying to stop letting that lady take over my mental health, but she has bothered me to my core. I cannot believe her. Oh, yes, so we also have the EMT. Now, I understand that this was only day 4 in such a long trial. So, who knows if the jury is even going to remember any of this when we get to week 6. We run that risk that they are just so overwhelmed with information that days 3, 4, and 5 mean absolutely nothing to them. But I hope that somebody is at least writing down the witnesses and writing down the big points of what they say. Because we had the bald EMT who was clearly on the side of either the police or the Alberts or the McCabe's, who wanted to make it seem like Karen was just totally uncooperative, didn't want to do anything, didn't even want to listen to them, didn't want to talk to them. And then we have this other EMT who's like, no, she was cooperative. Yeah, she listened. She got in the cab. And it's just like, one of you is wrong and one of you is right. And who do we believe? Do we just throw out both of them and just make up our own? But it's just like, oh, the audacity of these people. Because who's going to do anything to them if they're caught in a lie? Nothing. In fact, Judge Canoni will stop the questions once you're caught in a lie. She'll tell you to move on from this. But Carrie Roberts, I can't get over her. And I'm sure she's the first in a long list of people who are going to get on my nerves. But Carrie Roberts, y'all, has bothered me so bad. Because I said in one of my videos, or my short that I put on YouTube earlier, that I'm usually a really good judge of character. I'm a Scorpio, guys. I don't know if I've ever said that. But I'm a Scorpio. So I always keep my good eye on everybody I meet. I keep my good eye on you. And before I ever actually have a conversation with you, I'm just watching you in my space. And I'm usually can tell, like, okay, that's not going to be somebody I'm going to mesh well with. Or she looks like a fun girl. Like, you can just say things out loud, not to me, but they will make me form an opinion of you. And very rarely am I wrong. And when I'm wrong, it makes me mad, because how did you get past me? How did you get past me? That's how I feel about Carrie Roberts. Let me tell you a story. Side note, tangent. Fresh out of law school, I started working for a debt collection firm. There was me and there was there was one other, she was a paralegal, and then we had one other lawyer, but the paralegal came in with me. We came in on the same day. For this story, we'll call her Elsa, and I'm just going to say that because my daughter was watching Frozen yesterday. We're going to call her Elsa. Me and Elsa clicked right away. Like, we came in on the same day. We did orientation together. We clicked really well. The next attorney that came in after us, she came in maybe 3 weeks after us. Let's call her Anna. She came in on a day that I was off. I was not there that day. And so Elsa calls me. She's like, yeah, we got a new attorney, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, how is she? And she's like, oh, she's nice. She's good. I'm like, oh, okay. So when I get to work the next day, Anna she's not talking to me. She's talking to Elsa. But I just hear her and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about her. Then she finally started talking to me and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Something's wrong with her. Like, something's off. I can't put my finger on it, but something's off. And Elsa just thinks I'm just crazy. Girl, nothing is wrong with her. She's fine. She's nice. I'm like, something is wrong. She hasn't done anything specific, but something's wrong. So either way, long story short, I leave that job. I go to the job I am now, but I'm still in touch with Elsa. We're still really cool. And she calls me one day and tells me, guess what happened to Anna? I said, what? What happened to Anna? She's like, she was admitted to a psychiatric facility. I said, boom. I told you something was wrong with that girl. I told you something was wrong with that girl. This is how I am. That girl had never done anything to me. She had never said anything particularly crazy. It was just something about her aura and her vibe that I'm like, something is off. Something is not right. Some of the things she would say that nobody else seemed to pick up on. And that's me. So Carrie Roberts is bothering me because she slipped under my radar, and I hate that. I hate that. And I think she's bothering me because she's giving me a view of what the rest of these witnesses are going to be like. I feel like they have all gotten together and they have said, we need to twist the knife. What we did before was not enough. What we said before was not enough. We need to twist the knife. We need to drag it. Okay? Everything you said, you need to add 10 to it. And that's why Carrie Roberts is bothering me. Because I hate when they get on the stand and blatantly say something completely different and then try to make it seem like, oh, well, nobody asked me that, or I didn't ask, or, I misunderstood the question. First of all, none of y'all answer questions that are asked of y'all upon defense. Y'all all answer the question y'all want to answer and not the question y'all were asked. But all of a sudden, when stuff is missing, it's because nobody asked you that question. Nobody asked you any of the questions you answer. You just answered them. Nobody asked you that. And I feel like all of them are going to be just a little bit extra. And it's going to piss me off. And Carrie Roberts started it. She started it. And I hear today, after the ARCA voir dire, which, why are we having another ARCA voir dire? Why are we having another ARCA voir dire? Beth, if you just want to see the crash daddies, just say that. If you just want them to get close to you, girl, just say that. We could call them and tell them to come sit in the jury pen or something. Like, why are we having another ARCA voir dire? What do you think these people are going to say? I just cannot. And every time we call them in, $20,000. What? And she knows that. She has to know that. She said something like, well, you said a bill came out of nowhere. Okay. So what? I just don't understand. I just don't understand what that means for you. Just let's give Hank Brennan all the things. Let's give him all the things. Let's say that the defense was communicating with ARCA and they did say, okay, we're going to bill you this amount of money, and we have all that in text messages. Let's say that is true. Is it improper that they got up there and said they had not spoke to them? Sure. Yes, it is. But tell me what that does to change the outcome of their investigation. Literally nothing. All the Karen Read is guilty people have to answer why it would be that the prosecution would fight this hard to keep out PhD level accident reconstructionists. I just want to ask them, do you think they're lying? Do you think they have made it up on behalf of Karen Read? Like, what do you think? Like, how do you disregard this evidence? How do you decide that it's not true? Do they think that... I'm so tired of ARCA voir dires. I don't know what to do with myself. What do they think is happening with ARCA? What? Better legal minds than me gonna have to tell you, because I just don't know. Okay? I just don't know. Y'all gonna have to go to some real legal scholars, because I just don't know. I am. If I hear ARCA and voir dire one more time, I think I might jump out my window. I can't do it anymore. And I also heard tell that a one Miss Julie Nagel will be testifying today. And if you have watched any of my videos, then you know that if there is one person in this whole cast of characters whom I cannot stand with a deep and sincere passion, it is a one Miss Julie Nagel. And I could not stand her the first time I saw her. Now, I equally cannot stand Brian Higgins. Not equally. I cannot stand Brian Higgins. I cannot stand Brian Albert. I cannot stand Jen McCabe. I cannot stand dishonorably discharged former Trooper Proctor. I cannot stand Carrie Roberts as of now. But that goddamn Julie Nagel, She has a special apartment in hell, if you ask me. Something about her lying grinds my gears. And I say it all the time. It's because the rest of the liars, even though they're liars, you can see why they would be lying. Except Carrie Roberts. That's why she's on the list. That's why she's on the list. Because Carrie Roberts, why are you lying? I know you're not lying to be friends with Jen McCabe. Who is this? Anyway, except Carrie Roberts. Julie Nagel got on that stand and lied for no fucking reason. And ever since then, I want nothing but the worst for her. I wish nothing but the worst for her. I hope every time she goes to get her car fixed, as soon as she drives off the lot, the engine light comes on. I wish her nothing but the worst. I hope that every time she curls her hair, she has that one piece that will not curl. I wish her nothing but the worst. I wish her nothing but the worst. I wish that every time she eats a piece of food, it has too much salt on it. I wish her nothing but the worst, because why did you lie like that? And I don't think, this is the thing, I don't think anybody told her to lie. I thought she just got up there and was like, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to say. Because no, you did not. No, you did not see a black blob anywhere. No, you did not. You did not. You did not. You did not. You just didn't. Wish her all the worst things. And if she gets on that stand and says the same thing, I hope the chair breaks on her when she sits down in it. Which all of her clothes fit one size too small. Exactly. Exactly. Just enough to be annoying. Just enough to be annoying. I cannot stand Julie Nagel. But at least it's not a family trait. At least her brother said, no, I drove past that car and there was no one in it. At least it's not a family trait. At least he was like, when I pulled up, I was right behind her, didn't see nobody in the grass, didn't see no broken tail. I don't know if he said he saw a broken tail light, but why didn't they ask him? Did they ask him? Let me go back and watch that. Did they ask the Nagel brother whether or not her tail light was broken when he pulled up behind her? He probably won't remember now because it's probably nothing you keep track of in your mind. But he also says, when I drove past her car, there was no one in it but Karen. So you're telling me she had already hit him that early? And then Julie Nagel waddled her ass outside and didn't see the black blob then? With her brother's headlights on, straight in the direction where the body would be? So where was John? If he wasn't in the car when they drove by, where was he? Hiding on the side of the car? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Julie Nagel. Oh, I can't stand her. Oh, I cannot stand her. Oh, I can't stand her. Carrie Roberts is quickly landing on her side of the tracks. And I see that Carrie Roberts went on Good Morning America, and I just saw a clip. Girl, go away. Girl, go away. Why are you on Good Morning? Go away. Carrie Roberts felt like too many people knew Jen McCabe's name last time and nobody knew her. So she's going to do all the things. I'm going to say all the things and I'm going to do all the things. Girl, go away. Go sit down. Go sit down. Okay. And guys, did you see my short about because I want to talk about that, because I got a lot of comments going back and forth about me, about the clip where I have Carrie Roberts saying she had to dig his face out of the snow. First of all, why did you lie like that? What did you think that added to the story? What are you meaning me to believe that when you got there, enough snow had fallen to cover a grown 200+ pound man? But he was still gurgling? So he was under the snow and he wasn't frozen stiff? Hey, Roberts, why are you trying to make me hate you? First of all, that was a lie. You did not dig his face out of anything. And that doesn't even make sense, because like I said, if Karen had got to him first, why would she leave the snow on his face if there was snow on his face? Why would she try to warm up his stomach and not get the snow off his face? What are we talking about? But I'll either way. And then I'm trying to work on me. I'm trying to work on me. Okay, so I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Then, exactly, and the ice cube. Now there was an ice cube. Now there was an ice cube. Where did the ice cube come from? Ice cube of what? What are you talking about? Where did the ice cube come from? You just made that up. You just made that up. Anyway. So let's start with the lie that you had to dig him out. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did not have to dig him out. That was the first lie. But then we hear Jen saying on the 911 call, we just flipped him over. And I got comments saying that she was mistaken. They didn't flip him over. They may have flipped him over earlier in the night, but they didn't flip him over then. Okay. If that's true, that 911 call, 911 calls are able to be played if they're happening simultaneously with the event. Like if you have something happen to you, but you don't call 911 until 4 days later, you'd have to have something really pertinent in that 911 call for it to automatically be evidence. 911 calls are what they call present sense impression. It's right now. It's instant. She was asked a very clear question. Was he face down? We just flipped him over. You're right there in the moment. Why not say no? He was on his back. And what'll happen if Alan Jackson asks her that question is she'll try to pretend that it's no big deal. I was in shock and horror. And that's going to piss me off. That's going to piss me off because it is a big deal. Because all y'all try to pretend that y'all memory is just as clear now as it was then, but then y'all have these small discrepancies that y'all want us to just think is okay. So your memory is not as clear. There's no way one person can say we found him on his back and the other person says we just flipped him over. And that's just, no, it's just mistaken. Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? Because if he was found face down, when did he hit his head? How was his phone under him? Because that would mean that his phone was next to him, which means his phone should have been frozen solid too, but it wasn't. Like, there's so many inconsistencies with her saying we just flipped him over. And then Carrie saying he was on his back. Because I believe he was on his back. Because I don't think Karen would have been able to flip him over in the cold by herself. But that matters. That matters. That was right then. You got on the phone and said, we just flipped him over. Why did you say that? I cannot wait to hear her explanation for that. I cannot wait to hear her explanation for that. Why did you say that? It's like the same thing they try, and what she's going to try to do is make it seem like, oh, what I meant was we had, like, she's going to try to make it seem like flip them over and, brush the snow off of him some kind of way means the same things. The same way they try to make you think that cracked means missing. The same way Amber Heard wants you to believe that pledge and donate mean the same thing. They don't mean the same thing. So why did you say we just flipped him over? Excited utterances, yes. And they're able to get by the hearsay because they're right there. Like, it's usually, if you're really distraught, like, you don't have time to think of a lie. You don't have time to, make up something because it just comes out of your mouth. What came out of your mouth was, we just flipped them over. And she's going to make it seem like that means nothing, and that's going to piss me off so bad. Oh, it's going to piss me off so bad. It's going to piss me off so bad. It's going to be right up there with, I didn't hear her ask that, but I know that's when it happened. How do you know that's when it happened, Carrie Roberts? How do you know that's when it happened? Because she told you that's when it happened. Your whole timeline is based off what Jen McCabe said. I hope the jury is picking up. First of all, I know the jury has to be sitting there like, where is Jen? Bring me Jen. Who is this person who has her hand in everything? Who is this person? They have to be. They have to be waiting for Jen. Instead, they're going to get Julie Nagel. I was going to say something right there, and I decided against it. I don't want no witness intimidation charge. I don't want to do nothing with that. But that goddamn Julie Nagel, I wish her nothing but the best. I mean, the worst. I wished her nothing but the worst. And Carrie Roberts too, because y'all have decided. I'm telling you, she's a very small picture, I think, into what the rest of these witnesses are going to be. They're going to twist the knife. They've decided we did not get guilty. We need to up the ante. And if we're caught in a lie, so what they going to do? Say it wasn't intentionally. Say technically it was a lie. I loved Alan Jackson. Technically, you could be pregnant. What are you talking about? It's either yes or no. Somebody needs to make Judge Canoni, make these witnesses answer the question they are asked. I hate when she says, well, if you ask them a question, let them answer. I will let him answer. I will always let him answer. I will let them answer the question that I am asking, not the question they want to answer. If I say, were you at the waterfall yesterday? That is a yes or no question. They don't get to say, well, yeah, but first I stopped by such and such. That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. And they should be able to cut them off and say, that's not the question. But Judge Canoni won't let them. She lets them just answer whatever question they want to. And that's not fair. That's not fair. She's not getting a fair trial when that happens because they are testifying to things nobody asked them about. Nobody asked you that. And then Carrie Roberts is like, well, can I see it? Well, can I see the pages after that? Well, what I'm looking for still isn't here. Shut up. Nobody asked you that. That's not even the question I asked. I asked, did you say that? I don't care what you said after, and I don't care what you said before. I asked you, did you say this? The answer to that question is yes or no. Why Judge Canoni is saying, well, you got to let her answer the question. No, I don't. No, I don't. And you guys have to know. Tell me if I'm reaching here. First of all, Hank Brennan is not supposed to be able to ask questions like, are you a liar? Are you a good person? He's not supposed to be asking questions like that. Now, as a defense attorney, you might try to slip that in. But of course, Hank Brennan is a defense attorney, so he tries to do it as a prosecutor. And I have yet to hear, and he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it because you hear Alan Jackson and team object every time he does it. If that was Alan Jackson continuing to ask improper questions, Judge Cannoni would have said something to him by now in front of the jury. She just lets him keep doing it. And then she sustains the objection late. She sustains it after the witness has already answered. If that was Alan Jackson, she'd be saying, Mr. Jackson, come on, you know better. Jury, that's not improper. Like, she'd have something to say. She all of a sudden is slow on her sustains when Hank asks an improper question. All of a sudden it's sustained. But she waits until the answer is already out of the witness's mouth. This trial is a farce. And we've not even gotten a full week. We have not gotten a full week. Now, we just have to hope that there is at least one or two people on this jury who is keeping up. Yes, hit the like button. I keep forgetting to say that, you guys. Y'all know I'm getting there. Hit the like button. Thank you, Miss Parks is in the house. But it's just, this could happen to anyone, you guys. This could happen to any one of us. And that's why it's petrifying. Do you know how hard it is to remain steadfast in your innocence when an entire city is against you? Police, judges, prosecutors, selectmen. Do you know how hard that is? Many of us would have taken the deal a long time ago just to be done with it. Just to be done with it. I could not imagine. I couldn't imagine. I just want to be done. I don't even care. I know that I don't care what people think. I don't care what people believe. I just want to be done. I want to not have to show up to this courthouse anymore. I just want to do it. So it's just more power to her. More power to her. If there's a criticism that I have of Karen, y'all know it's those gosh darn interviews. Me and Auntie Deb differ on this point, and that's okay. Beautiful minds can differ. But I wish she would not have done those. And you guys know that I've never watched any of the documentaries. So the clips that they play in court, those are the first time I'm seeing those. Those are the first time I'm seeing those clips. And if I was on the jury, I think they would bother me, but also I feel like I would disregard them because I'm a context person. I need to watch the whole show. You're not going to show me a half a second clip. What did she say before that? And what was the question? That would be me. That would be me. I would need more than that little 10-second clip that they keep showing me. I would probably just disregard all of them. I think though, I might, and I could see a juror saying, well, if she's doing interviews, I could see them expecting her to testify. Because they don't know yet whether or not she will, because it's not the defense case in chief. But I can see them expecting her to testify, and that's why the interviews are bad. Because even if I would be like, well, I don't really hear what them little clips say because I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the question before it or after it or what she's talking about. But I could see myself thinking, okay, but if they're playing these clips, that means she's talking. That means she's going to testify to me. And then when she doesn't, it's like, well, that was weird. Why did they show up all those clips if she wasn't going to explain them? Or even though they're not supposed to hold it against her, we know that juries do shit they're not supposed to do all the time. As we heard from the last jury, just speculated to hell about what ARCA was and was completely wrong. And didn't even, don't get me started on that jury. But I don't like that she did them. I don't understand her lawyers allowing it. I mean, if they allowed it, she's a grown woman. She could have said, I want to do it because I want to say what I want to say. But I would hope that they told her, look, whatever you say in here, they could possibly use. And she got lucky that Lally was lollygagging and didn't probably feel like he had the time or the space or the energy to use those clips. But Brennan has all the time in the world, as we see. And they're just not helpful. They're just not helpful. There may be a couple that swing either way, like the one about why she left and didn't stay with the mother. But then again, that takes a little bit more discernment. And you just got to hope a juror gets that. And jurors are unpredictable and jurors are scary. And this is a Massachusetts jury. And y'all know how I feel about Massachusetts. So I don't know, honey. I don't know, honey. And I think Alan Jackson feels the same way about Massachusetts, which is why he feels like he must belabor every point. And I'm right with him. Make sure you say it until you think they got it. And it feels like Judge Cadoni knows that as well, which is why she tries to tell him to move on and why he's like, no, I'm not going to. You try to tell me to move on because you know that this jury needs to hear it 4 times. So you try to make me move on the 3rd time. No, I'm going to say it one more time. I just wish she wouldn't have done them. When they say anything can be used against you in the court of law, they mean it. And they will use it and they will flip it and they will rub it down and it will turn into something else. And it's just unnecessary. But again, I haven't seen the full documentary. So those clips really wouldn't move me one way or the other if I was a juror. I'd just be like, I don't know what she's talking about. So can't help or hurt. But I really hope they have someone, at least one person who is keeping track of these inconsistencies. I think if they have anybody on that jury who cares about the law, who cares deeply about their job as a juror and determining reasonable doubt, I hope that blatant, flat out lie from Kerry Roberts means a whole bunch to them. Because it is a big deal, you guys. I know that they tried to move past it. And of course, Judge Cadoni tried to make Alan Jackson move on past it. But it is a big deal. It is a big deal, you guys, that she lied. Not a technical lie, not a non-intentional lie. I don't care what she wants to define it as. She lied to the grand jury. And that lie explains away, tries to explain away that 227 or whatever it was search from Jen McCabe, which is a big deal in this case. Which is a big deal in this case because Jen McCabe's whole testimony is that search didn't come from 2. It came from 6 when Karen asked me to. But if nobody heard Karen ask you, and Karen is saying in her interviews, I'm sure that she didn't ask you. And I'm sure that if she said that in an interview, I'm sure they're not going to play that clip. But if Karen is saying that nobody heard her ask you, none of the EM teams that were there, nobody heard you say that, you got Carrie to say that she heard it. This is a big deal. This particular thing is a big deal, and you got up there and lied about it. Because if there is a corroborating witness that heard her ask her that, then that whole little, it didn't happen at 2, it happened on a window that's been open since 2, then that kind of gives that more credence, right? It kind of gives that more leverage because, okay, what are the odds that she was searching something at 2 a.m. and then Karen asked her again at 6 a.m. Like, what are the odds? It tends to make you believe that Google search was wrong because What are the odds? What are the odds it's the same thing you were searching Karen asked you to search? It tends to lead to the credence that, okay, maybe that was true. Maybe Karen did ask her to search that. If 2 people heard it, then it gives credence to that. But if nobody heard it and only Jen is saying it, if nobody heard that and only Jen is saying it, it makes it look like she actually searched that term at 2 a.m. and then tried to cover her tracks at 6. That lie matters. And for them to pretend it does not bothers me to my core. It bothers me. That lie is a big whopper of a lie, because you realize we had a trial within a trial last time about that 2-something-some odd search. We had a trial within a trial about Jen McCabe's cell phone searches. So Carrie Roberts saying that she heard it, Carrie Roberts saying that she heard Karen ask that, means, okay, then maybe she did only search it at 6 on a window that was open from 227. But if nobody else heard it, then we get to look back at Jen like it's mighty convenient that Karen would ask you. Why didn't she ask Carrie? Carrie's the one who's her actual friend. Why didn't she ask one of the EMTs? Why didn't she ask any number of people who were standing there? It just so happened to be you, and it just so happened to come up on your phone at 2:27 and be deleted and appear as deleted. It matters, you guys. It matters a whole bunch, and it pisses me off that everybody just moved past the fact, and that Bev had her let her say, technically, not intentionally. This case drives my blood pressure up, I'm telling you. It can be both. Team Wicked Smart versus Pure Wicked. Tell me what you mean it can be both. It can be both what? What can be both? I didn't know what you mean. Because I don't think it's both. I think it's one or the other. And no, I don't think it's one or the other. I think Carrie lied. She didn't hear it. And now first of all, I never believed that search didn't happen at 2:27. Let me tell you something. I have never heard prosecutors argue against Selbright. Not only because, and I would tend to believe it if it wasn't deleted. If it wasn't deleted, I would tend to believe it. The fact that it happened at 2 and it was deleted, I don't believe Jen did CPR. Me either. She claimed that last time, but Carrie said it was her and Karen. I don't believe she did that either. I'm telling you, they told them to twist the knife. They told them we need extra oomph on our testimony. And we don't care if they catch us in a lie. We don't care if they say we never said it before, because we got audacity, alcohol and audacity. What are they going to do? I'm just going to say, well, nobody asked me that question. Well, nobody told me to say that. Well, I'm just... I agree with you, but even if Karen did ask Jen, still asked at 2:27. Oh, yes. First of all, I never believed. And when I say never, I mean I never believed that she didn't search that at 2:27. But what I'm saying is, if Carrie actually heard Karen ask Jen to Google hypothermia or how long did I in the cold, whatever. If she actually heard that, I can see a juror saying, well, I mean, what are the odds that she asked her to search the exact thing she was searching at 2? It makes it more believable that she searched it at 6 and Selbright did something weird about 2:27. It makes it more believable because you have 2 people saying, we heard her say that. If you believe them, we heard her say that. But now that we know that Carrie did not hear that, she got it from Jen during timeline. Mind you, when that has nothing to do with timeline, why would that come up? It only comes up because you want somebody else to corroborate this search. And why is this search so important to you? Because you know it happened at 2:27. Why is it so important that it comes up during timeline? The fact that you need somebody else to mention it because you know for real. You know the deal. You know that search happened at 2:27. So I need somebody else to corroborate that I searched it at 6. Because that has nothing to do with timeline. But if Carrie Roberts tells the truth in the grand jury, no, I never heard her say that. Now it's looking a little more sketchy, Jen, because Karen is not going to say that she asked you to say that. We don't even have to hear from her to know that she's going to say, I didn't say that. So now it's only you with a search at 6 and a search at 2:27. And now you're looking real suspicious. That lie. They try to minimize, Hank Brennan tried to minimize it and make it very small, but it's huge to this case because that 2:27 search is a big fucking deal. It's a big deal. And now we know that Jen set it up so that somebody else could say it. And you have to start asking yourself, why is that something you need somebody else to say? Why is that something you even remember if we're going over timeline? The timeline is ended by the time we get to John. By the time we get to John, the timeline is over. So your timeline should stop. We pull it up and find John. That's the end of the timeline. Shouldn't be anything after that. Timeline has nothing to do with Karen asking you to search something. Has nothing to do with anything. And then you deleted it. And then it's deleted. See if it proves consciousness of guilt. Exactly. Hank Brennan's favorite term. That's exactly what it does. It proves consciousness of guilt. But anyway. All right, guys, I got to get to work. My blood pressure is up because Carrie goddamn Roberts. And if I see Julie Nagel on that stand today, pray for me. Pray for me. Y'all not going to see me going crazy, but y'all going to know. Y'all are going to have the aura of me going crazy if I see Julie Nagel on that stand today. So just pray for me. Okay? All right, guys. Have a good morning. Have a great Monday. Thank you all for being a part of my live. We will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early before trial, to go over the craziness that I'm sure we will get today. Everybody have a great Monday. Bye.